Today I'm in the DFW area of Texas for the DFW G.I. Joe and Action Figure Show, where I had the opportunity to come out as a guest. Yeah, you heard that right. Pixel Dan, the guy who wrote a MOTU book, is a guest at a G.I. Joe show. I guess all that Ninja Force hunting has really paid off. But seriously, I'm really excited for this show. I did Toylanta earlier this year, and it is also very heavy in G.I. Joe, and I have had a blast hunting down G.I. Joe stuff for my collection this year, and I'm really excited to check the show out. I always love seeing new shows, no matter what their core base is, whatever their main thing is. If it's a franchise that I don't even collect, I'm still excited to see what type of stuff I can find at a toy show. So we're gonna check this one out and hopefully it's awesome. So I do have a table here at the show. I brought along some MOTU books to sell. Hopefully the clientele will actually be into this sort of thing, but the doors are gonna be opening soon, and since I've got obligations at the table, this seems like a good time to wander around the show floor and see what's out there. And I'm actually gonna start by heading over to my good friend Brett's table, who also has his own dealer booth set up, and we're gonna see what he's got over there. Now, as I walk over there, Brett surprises me by handing me a gift. This is that SkullFighter set that I looked at way back at Toylanta that I thought was really cool, but I ultimately passed on it. Well, Brett snuck over there and bought it behind my back, and he gifted it to me as a late birthday present. Holy cow.
Dude, you are way too cool. Brett.
It's all right.
Brett Bretterson.
Oh, hey.
Thanks, Brett.
Yeah.
And this amazing custom painted sorceress by Dave. Thanks, man.
What's up?
Nah, this stuff, you guys, this stuff is awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, thank you for coming out and hanging out and having a good time.
Oh, dude, I love to do it. I love to do it. Dude, this thing is insane. SkullFighters.
Wow, what an awesome way to start the show. Brett and Dave are such incredibly cool guys, and I had the honor of hanging out with them pretty much throughout the entirety of the weekend. We had a really good time, and the gifts that they gave me are amazing. So Brett, Dave, thank you guys very much, my friends. And you know, while I'm over here at Brett's table, I might as well see what he's got for sale because, well, he's always got a lot of great MOTU stuff, but it's a G.I. Joe show, and he's got bins and bins of G.I. Joe figures that I really feel like digging through. I'm actually seeing quite a few that are pretty tempting to me in these bins. Annihilator, Techno Viper, that armored Cobra Commander that everybody keeps telling me I should buy, and oh, Raptor?
Raptor's cool too.
Raptor, yeah. He was one that was on the pigs. I mean, forever, man. It was a
okay, so back in the day,
him and Crystal Ball.
Him and Crystal Ball.
That was
the two figures.
all you seen.
Everybody got them. Yep. Nobody wanted them, and sometimes you get 2 or 3 of them.
Okay, so listening to Brett and Dave, two G.I. Joe collectors, explaining to me why Raptor and Crystal Ball both suck is cracking me up. Seriously. And because they're talking about how they're kind of like the two black sheep of the G.I. Joe line that apparently everybody seems to hate, I kind of want them now. So, challenge accepted? All right, so we're hitting the rest of the show floor, and boom, right there, right at the start, a USS Flag. I had a feeling I'd see one of these here. I actually run into flags pretty often at these shows, but definitely can't have a G.I. Joe show without seeing a USS Flag. You know, it never ceases to amaze me. It's an incredible vehicle slash playset, and every time I see it in person, it's kind of awe-inspiring. But you know, this is a part of the G.I. Joe collecting world that I don't think I'll be getting into, being vehicles and playsets, because I already struggle with purchasing a lot of modern giant playsets that are always coming out. I don't have the space to keep adding these giant things to my collection, but doesn't mean I don't like to look at them at toy shows. I can already tell that this is going to be a lot of fun. I've had a blast collecting G.I. Joe, and I'm legitimately excited every time I'm at a show and I'm looking at G.I. Joe figures because As somebody who hasn't spent a lot of time collecting these, I'm constantly surprised or even discovering new things, and it's actually very exciting. And I have a strong feeling I'm definitely going to be bitten by that G.I. Joe bug again at this show, since it's so prominent here. Ha! And here we go, Ninja Force Scarlet. Now look, I know that she's probably the least favorite of an already pretty unpopular line in Ninja Force, but she's carded, the price is right. I want to get the entire Ninja Force line carded, so I'm probably going to be grabbing this Scarlet today. Oh, here's Big Boa. I already got this guy earlier this year. I love him, though mine doesn't have the punching bag. This one does. Oh, wait a minute. There he is! That's Crystal Ball! Okay, so this one's not carded, but he comes with his card back, and he's loose, and he's complete, and for $25? Yeah, I think I'm adding Crystal Ball to my collection. Ooh, now if I've got him, I definitely need to find Raptor too. Oh, Ninja Force Snake Eyes. You will be mine eventually. Oh, what's this? This ain't Joe. TMNT Super Plaster Molding and Painting Center? I'm not sure I've ever seen this before. So I'm over here at Empire Toys booth now. You might remember Empire Toys because they have a physical store location in Keller, Texas, and I've actually done a few videos from their store. It's an incredible place. This was their first time setting up at a toy show, and they really brought it. They've got a great booth here. They do have some good G.I. Joe stuff, but what I really love is that their booth is filled with all kinds of cool stuff. A good mixture of vintage toy items to be found here. So this is a good moment to mention that while this is a G.I. Joe heavy show, it's called the G.I. Joe and Action Figure Show. And there is quite a bit of non-G.I. Joe stuff here as well. In fact, I was really impressed with just how much vintage there was to be found in this building. For example, I found some Masters of the Universe. There's a great selection of vintage here, and wow, $35 for a vintage Mosquitor? That's actually a really good price for that. Here's a good selection of 2000X carded MOTU figures. Ice Armor He-Man is a really good one. And here's some good Princess of Power, both carded and loose, and I spy an Entrapta back there, which is one that I need for my collection. And the price is really good on this figure. She's missing her accessories, but she's in great shape, so this is definitely something I'm probably going to end up snagging today.
You can pretend.
Sweet bee glows in darkest night, Entrapta weaves her hair just right. Down comes her long, long hair to trap a sweet bee unaware.
Dolls each sold separately. Sheer doll sold separately.
Sweet bee flies circles in the air. Entrapta gets caught in her own hair. The fate of the world's in the hands of these beautiful girls. Princess of Power.
Sweet bee and Entrapta dolls each sold separately. Sheer doll also sold separately. New from Mattel.
Oh, hey, here we go, Marvel Secret Wars. You know, I just picked up a beautiful boxed version of the Turbo Cycle back at San Diego Comic-Con, but here's the Doom Cycle too, and it's filled with figures, and the price on these includes the figures and the vehicles, so this would be a good chance for me to get both of these loose and have a couple of extra figures, though I'm looking at them and the cycles do appear to be missing some pieces, so I'm doing that thing where I'm wondering if it's really worth it or if I'd rather just wait and buy these more complete somewhere else down the line. But another thing this booth has are these really cool Secret Wars branded Buddy L vehicles, which I don't think I have ever seen before now. Really cool. Oh wow, look at all of this mask stuff. It's a whole bunch of boxed vehicles, and honestly, these prices look pretty decent to me. I don't really collect masks, so I don't really know what the prices should be on these, but like those don't look like bad numbers considering what they are, and it's not something I run into very often, at least not all boxed like this. There's also a bunch of boxed G.I. Joe vehicles here as well, which is very cool to see. Oh man, and look at all of these Fun School Joes! I was just talking in another video how I love seeing these like internationally released G.I. Joes and kind of what makes the carded ones different from the US releases. Like this Zartan here. Oh my gosh, this Zartan is amazing. The box art alone is cracking me up. And I'm also just realizing that this is a $600 figure. I think I should probably put that down now. Yikes. Oh, and this Fun School Big Boa is rad. Look at the helmet. It's like a dark gray instead of the white we got here. Total Shockmaster vibes going on. Ah, yes, and here, a vintage boxed Battle Ram, my favorite MOTU vehicle. The box is in a little bit of rough shape, but man, look at that box art. It's beautiful. Back to looking at G.I. Joes, because I just found a whole bunch of carded Ninja Force figures. I still need this Bonsai carded, and I do need this orange version of Slice as well. Oh, Battle Core Metalhead? Now he is just the right amount of wacky. I kind of love him. Ah, here we go. This is also something else right up my alley in the G.I. Joe world. A bunch of boxed Street Fighter vehicles. Awesome! So it looks like we've got the Street Striker and Devastator here. Wow, they called that thing Devastator? I guess they probably have the rights to that name, right? Oh, and here is the Sonic Boom Tank, which is an amazing name. And this one comes with an exclusive Guile figure. This is another set of boxes where like the artwork alone is enough to almost make me want to buy these. But, space, am I right? So Chicken Fried Toys was set up at the show with their awesome Dime Novel Legends line. If you've never seen these before, it's a modern toy line done in that 3 3/4 inch scale, where the focus is like the Old West. It's like cowboys and bank robbers and all kinds of cool stuff like that. I've taken a look at a few of these on the channel in the past, and it's really cool seeing these in person every time I get the opportunity to do so. But I think what's even more exciting are a few of their new lines that they're planning to bring out. For example, they're doing their own 3 3/4 inch version of Cops and Crooks, which is awesome. So they had this stack of cardback samples there, and one of the prototypes was also on display. And then I really love this new sort of like creature line that they're doing. There's this amazing 2-pack that they had on display, which is Cowboy Kringle with Krampus. And aside from Krampus, they've also got a Wendigo and a werewolf. I mean, totally gnarly looking figures that I'm really excited to see how these turn out. Oh, and at the show, they were also selling this amazing 3 3/4 inch glow-in-the-dark alien, like Roswell-style alien, which is part of their Dime Novel Legends line, and I thought it was so awesome that there's no way I'm leaving here without a glow-in-the-dark alien figure. That's so cool! So at this point, we are getting pretty close to the show wrapping up for the weekend, and this is where I'm like running around doing my last looks at everything. But amazingly enough, like it's here at the end of the show that I start stumbling upon a bunch of what could be considered toy grails, or at least very expensive pieces that you just don't run into very often. I mean, just see for yourself. Boom! The Blank from the Playmates Toys Dick Tracy line. Talk about a pretty rare figure, and there it is right there, carded at the show. Amazing. And here is a boxed Nordor playset from the New Adventures of He-Man. Have you ever seen this before? Look, right here. You see it behind me? That's it. Every time I film in here, I always get comments asking me what that purple ball is behind me. It's Nordor. It's this playset right here. It is an amazing, totally overlooked playset from the New Adventures of He-Man line because everybody ignores that toy line. If you want to learn more about that, well, I've got a book I can tell you about. Oh, this is really cool. It's the old Coleco Rambo toy line. I do run into the figures every now and then. Cool seeing a group of them, but look what's under them on the floor under the table. This is the Savage Strike Headquarters playset, which is another toy that I don't think I ever see at toy shows. Unbelievable.
world there's inhuman terror from Savage.
Dr. Hyde!
Savage's cybernetic leader. He's half man, half machine, with a face only Savage could love, and the terror doesn't stop.
X-ray!
Part man, part deadly missile system.
You think X-ray's worried about Rambo? You think Dr. Hyde's worried about anything?
New X-ray and Dr. Hyde each sold separately with their battle action accessories from Coleco.
Oh, talk about amazing playsets. Here is the Sectar's Hive playset in the box. This is just an incredible vintage playset, one of those massive, giant, awesome playsets from the 80s. And here it is in the box, which is also just got this beautiful box art on it. I was really drawn to this. In fact, the dealer was like, he could tell how much I liked it because I was just like staring at the artwork, getting all these shots of the artwork. And he's just like, I can tell how much you like it. You can take it home with you. Believe me, I want to. I would love to have a boxed Hive playset because, man, gorgeous stuff. I love the Sectar's toy line, but that is a really, really cool thing to see in person. Now, here's the deal. I'm over here and I'm looking at this Hive playset. Something else on this table catches my eye. It's this little box that says G.I. Joe Cobra Troop Builder Set on it.
So they were from the, like I said, I got these at Katie's. They were doing little promotionals.
Yeah.
There had been a Melon figure, or Melon Pack. And
Oh.
Katie's got a bunch of them and sold them.
Oh, really? Okay. So they were like mail-aways originally.
Yep.
Okay. These are really cool. I like those. Yeah, so this was apparently a mail-away item in 2003, but it's totally like the vintage bat molds, and it's filled with amazing translucent figures. It's a bit pricey, but I feel like the price is good for what it is, and I am so drawn to it, and maybe it's because the show's about to close, but you know what? This is going to be my final purchase of the weekend, and actually, my biggest purchase of the weekend, because this is awesome. So there you go. That is the DFW G.I. Joe and Toy Show, or G.I. Joe and Action Figure Show. I had a really good time here. This was a great show, and even though it was very G.I. Joe centric, there was a really good turnout for everything. I mean, lots of people came to pick up copies of the MOTU books, so like, you know, all of us toy collectors were into multiple things. So if you ever see a show that seems like it's labeled for one specific brand that maybe is a brand you don't collect for, I would still urge you to check it out if you have the opportunity to do so. Because first of all, it's always cool to learn about toys that maybe you aren't as knowledgeable about, but also there's always going to be other things. And maybe this is where you can find some hidden gems because you might be the only person in that building looking for that thing. Always worth checking out a toy show, no matter what the focus is. And with that, my friends, it is time for my haul. I actually want to start by showing off this amazing artwork that was gifted to me at the show by one of the dealers there who was working on artwork throughout the weekend. On the very last day, he gave me this amazing drawing of Mosquitor, who is sucking down a Slurpee. I love that it's called the Monstroid Gulp, which is amazing. I also love that there's a little mosquito that landed on his shoulder that's biting Mosquitor. I mean, this is an amazing piece of art. So I love and I truly appreciate when people go out of their way to like do something special like this for me. So thank you so much to the amazing artist who did this. It's going to go with the rest of my awesome Mosquitor artwork that people have gifted to me over the years. This is so cool. As for things I purchased, I did pick up that Princess of Power Entrapta figure that we saw earlier. Now, as I mentioned, she's like missing everything. She doesn't have her soft goods, but the price was pretty low on this figure, and she's not one that you see too commonly, and she's vac metal. She's shiny gold, and the vac metal is in really good shape on this. So I figured I would just go ahead and grab her. I'd try my luck at trying to find the soft goods to complete her at some point down the road, but very happy to add her to the collection. I also picked up that Dime Novel Legends alien figure because, like I said, how could I not get a little green glowing alien figure? He's totally going to hang out with Ninja Force Zartan now because his skin's almost the same color as his pants. Oh, Call Sign Longbo was there, and I actually didn't get a chance to see their booth until everybody was already packing up, which I was really bummed that I missed them. I actually did back them on their Kickstarter and pick up a couple of their figures, but one of the things they were selling at the show were these invisible figure stands, and I figured I'd go ahead and grab a pack of those. I love that they're carded, but this way, since I'm kind of building a collection of vintage G.I. Joes, if I pick up any that don't have figure stands, these will work, and they do fit vintage G.I. Joes perfectly. I did grab Ninja Force Scarlet. I know, but I want to complete my Ninja Force line. Very happy to have found her for only $20. I think that's a great price. And I also picked up the dynamic duo of Crystal Ball and Raptor. So shout out to my friends Brett and Dave, because this is your fault. But also, I kind of love Crystal Ball because he's got that lenticular shield. He's pretty rad, actually. And finally, my favorite purchase from the show. I got that Cobra Troop Builder 6-pack, which was released in 2003. And then it was a mail away first, and then I was also told that it showed up at KB Toy Stores, which is really interesting. But I love this because it includes 5 bats, 3 black ones, 2 that are translucent red. They look like Jolly Ranchers. I love them. They all have the lenticular stickers on their chest. They all have swappable hands that can turn into guns. And this set comes with Overkill, who has also got translucent parts. And I've always loved the look of Overkill, but you know, the standard release came with the talking backpack on his back. So this is a way to get him without that talking backpack. I love this set. And I guess this is me venturing out of that actual vintage realm, but I don't know, these kind of count, right? Because they're like the vintage molds. Regardless, I love them. I think they're so cool. And those translucent parts, those bright colors, total Pixel Dan vibes. Very happy with this set. Guys, thank you all so very much for continuing to join me on my toy hunting excursions. I've got so many of these already shot, so the rest of the year, every Saturday, you should get a brand new episode. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment. All of that stuff helps to grow the channel. And if you're in a position to help even more, check out the Patreon. All of these wonderful people scrolling on the screen right here are current supporters over on Patreon. Thank you all so very much, no matter how you choose to support the channel. Happy hunting, my friends, and until next time.